Hey everybody, thanks for being with us here on WFAA Plus. Jason Wheeler here with Jason Whiteley. We're bringing you breaking news. If you've been with us for a little time, you know what this is. If not, if you're just now joining us, there has been some sort of security incident at NorthPark Center in Dallas, there around the Park Cities, just off of Central Expressway 75. This is the first scene that we'll bring you here right now. A heavy police presence out there with mall security as well as DPD. We've been seeing some pretty armed up DPD officers arriving here in just the past few minutes. We still don't know at this point. There's one of them right there. You can see the tactical gear on. We still don't know at this point what exactly the situation has been, but you see that tactical gear and that dog being taken into the mall now. So we're starting to try to discern what has happened here at the mall. We just know that a little more than an hour ago, about an hour and 20 minutes ago, the alarms went off there at NorthPark Center. Everyone was told to get out, not just out of the store or theater or restaurant they were in, but out of the mall entirely and even off of the property, away from the buildings. And so we've been looking at the perimeter all around NorthPark Center here in this last little bit, and we've seen people gathered out there, maybe people who didn't even have a chance to get to their cars or didn't have transportation to get home from the mall there, maybe some employees. And so at this point, what we know is that mall has been locked down. We were speaking with Catherine Cuellar earlier. She was one of the people inside the mall as we take a look at another officer in tactical gear taking in another dog into that mall. Catherine was telling us that where she was, they were actually pulling down the metal gates there at the store as they were shutting the doors. And so everybody has been pushed out, and as you see, law enforcement, we've been watching them stage for quite a while here, Jason, and it looks like they're finally starting to go in.
And Jason, what's striking to me is this happened at 12:09. We're an hour and a half, almost an hour and a half into it now, but the police presence is only growing. This is the first time we've seen K-9 officers from Dallas Police and other heavily armed. These aren't uniformed officers. These guys are wearing all types of different tactical gear and other types. There's the Dallas Police helicopter there in front too, I believe. That's also taking an eye on and watching this as well too. But the police department presence has only grown. They have a command van set up out there on the northwest side of the property, actually off the property, Bodecker and Park Lane there at the Museum of Biblical Art. This is now the third K-9 going inside. Here's what this tells me. Jason, after watching these for a number of years, whatever this threat was, whatever the security incident was, Dallas police are going to go through this building, likely store by store, most likely room by room, to clear this building. So the employees and the other folks who are there hoping to get back in, finish their transactions, finish their shopping, pick up what they may have left there behind. That's not probably going to be a 1 to 2 hour type of incident here.
This is a huge building.
This is what I think you looked up, 2 million square feet.
A couple million square feet, several hundred stores that we're talking about,
sure,
and restaurants and cinemas and so forth. And
two layers, I mean, 2 stories.
Yeah, and when you say clear this building, you don't mean, just sweep through it and make sure that no one's left inside. You mean going through it painstakingly, making sure that there is no remaining threat, whatever that threat was, somewhere in this expansive campus.
And that's what's striking about this too, because you can see a number of other police cars even closer now too. The command van is behind the trees there. It's on the left side of your screen.
It's moved in closer though.
It has moved in closer. A number of those other police cars have also moved in closer. So it looks like this operation is the clearing operation, if that is indeed what is happening, is actually underway right now. But an hour and a half after the evacuation of NorthPark Center for the security incident, it looks like this might be quite a while. Brittany Moncrief, one of our reporters, has gotten to the other side of the mall. She's on Northwest Highway there on the opposite side near the Maggiano's entrance. And Brittany, can you tell us what you see from your side? And there are a number of employees and I think other guests who were hanging out there with you trying to find out more. What did they tell you?
So, Jason, I'll step aside so you can see, because I heard you mention, too, about the police presence picking up, and we just saw another police unit come this way on Northwest Highway, blocking off the grounds to the mall. And on about a block down, you see some more police vehicles. They're on motorcycles. They're in units. They also have the other entrances blocked off, and we're across the street over outside of a Barnes & Noble, and we're talking to some of the employees who had to evacuate from this area. And what they told us is that around 11:30, 4:30, they heard an alarm go off, which is not out of the norm for here at the mall. They said a lot of times there's different testing that's done throughout the week, but this time they were told that they needed to evacuate, and this is the first time that that's happened. And so they said they evacuated the mall, and they were kind of outside the mall, like in the parking lot area, and then they were told that they had to get off of the grounds and actually go further away. So where we're standing across the street at the strip mall, we can see Northwest Highway blocked off at all the entrances going to the mall. There's a parking lot that's also across the street, and we see some police vehicles. They've been kind of just cruising through there, going around in circles, just looks like patrolling that area or checking out that area. No cars have been allowed inside. We saw some people earlier trying to walk across the street to go on the premises. They were turned around, weren't even allowed to get there get close to the grounds at all. Another thing that the employees told us is that, this is happening during lunch, during that lunch rush hour. So a lot of the restaurants, as you mentioned before, people are there eating, there's events going on with different businesses. People had to immediately leave. And so for some of these businesses, because of this happening, for them, that's a financial burden. That's money that they miss out on because people have to just leave immediately. But the other thing too that they were told is that they were getting some mixed messages about what this situation is right now. We just know that the building is being evacuated for security reasons, but some employees have been hearing that there was a possible active shooter. Then they heard that there was possible bomb threats. Again, we don't know. We're still working to confirm what that security reason is, why the mall is being evacuated. But again, the employees are getting mixed messages. They did tell us that some of them are in the parking lot and they have their walkie-talkies and they're waiting for confirmation to let them know if they can go back to the building and if they can finish the rest of the day. But they were told that the latest time that they were told that they could go back in would be around 2 o'clock. But as you just mentioned, Jason, you have the dogs that are coming in. So it's no telling how long this situation will be and how long the park will be closed down, the mall will be closed down. For this investigation to take place, for them to clear the building and allow people in. And you can see over in the corner there, police also directing some people out. Again, as I mentioned, there were people that were walking across the street trying to get on the grounds, and they're not letting anyone by at all. We did see some other employees that are coming out of the mall that were being evacuated. And again, as I mentioned, this started where the alarm went off. Employees said they were told they had to leave out the building, and then shortly after that they were told they had to leave the premises completely. So we're outside across the street where this is happening, and we're just watching it all as it unfolds. We've been seeing multiple police units come by here. They've been patrolling the area. The only people that we see walking over there are people that are still being evacuated, because you have to imagine this is a mall, so it's going to take time to get everyone out. But we'll be standing here and we'll be watching and monitoring as the situation unfolds. Jason?
Hey, Brittany, thank you so much for the update from there. And I'm thinking that those mall employees you've been speaking with, that 2 p.m. Possibility of being able to re-enter the building, just having covered these over the years and seeing what's going on there, that is definitely going to get pushed way back. We've got Tanya Iser here with us on audio. Tanya, of course, is our chief investigative reporter here, but also has tremendous contacts in the law enforcement community. And I would imagine you've been working those sources, Tanya, and so much going on right now. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I've spoken to several commanders, and what they're telling me is this was a bomb threat. Now, what I don't know is how did that bomb threat come in? Was it an email? Was it a phone call? That we're not sure of, or I'm not sure of at this point.
Well, we just got word a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago, actually, that it was somebody had called into the Fusion Center. So that's something. Explain that for people who aren't familiar.
The Fusion Center is what I would kind of call basically the nerve center of the police department. You have it's like an intelligence unit. You have an incredible amount of information. Officers call the Fusion unit to run stuff down, to check things out. It's kind of like a nerve center, and for want of a better word.
And what we were just told is that whoever called into that Fusion Center, according to the source, had said that they were basically going to blow everything up there. Which makes a lot of sense now when we see the kind of reaction that we're seeing from law enforcement.
Right. They're doing exactly what I would expect them to do. You want to treat these threats, better to treat them as if they're credible and have a lot of people evacuated and you know, act out of an abundance of caution rather than to not treat it that way and it end up being real. What I had heard from my sources was at this point, preliminarily, they do not believe this is a credible threat. The word that was used with me was bogus at this point, you know, but you have to, again, assume that it could be real, clear the mall, but it, you know, you can imagine just a massive amount of manpower, a lot of effect on these stores.
A lot of dog power too. We've been seeing a lot of those pooches being taken in to sniff things out.
Right, and the other thing I was told is that the department's intelligence unit, because they have a unit that is called the intelligence unit, is checking out this threat. They are following up on it. Obviously, they are taking it, you know, very seriously. And whoever called this in, I mean, they could. It's a criminal act.
Oh, yeah.
You can face criminal charges for having done something like this.
Tanya, as you watch this with us, and you've been watching for the last hour and a half here, as you watch this with us, you've been to NorthPark Center. This is a massive mall. We don't know exactly where this bomb threat was targeted towards, if it was just in the mall generally or a specific store. But I cannot imagine that this is going to be cleared in the next half hour, hour or so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how long it'll take, I'm not sure. But you know, you're right. They have to operate as if it is real. They have to take it that way because if for some reason it was, then you know, of course, the police department would be criticized on the back end if something horrible happens. So they have to. It's one of the unfortunate things about the modern society we live in. You know, we've all seen this. I mean, we were all reporters back when we had the anthrax threats. When you'd have to, something would get called in and everybody would have to leave, or you know, whatever, all those kinds of things. And so yeah, I would assume this will go on for a while as they continue to check this mall out. Now, how long it'll take, I don't know, but this will not be a short thing. Yeah,
it seems like this could go for quite a while here. Tanya, keep checking your sources. We know they're texting you and you're texting them as well too.
I have one more quick question before we let you go here, Tanya. How much are they scrambling on the back end? Let's say that this isn't real. Let's say it is bogus, like their initial thought was here. How much are they scrambling on the back end to track down who did this? Because you don't want somebody who, you know, starts to do this on a regular basis, and if they get away with it once, maybe they try it again, and this is just a tremendous disruption to so many people's days, and it's an unsafe situation too, because you got people in some cases who are, you know, racing to get out of there.
But it's easier than ever to hide digitally as well, isn't it?
Well, okay, you got two questions here. I would say that they would be, to the first Jason's question, they would be taking it very, very seriously and pulling out all the stops to find this person, identify them, and, you know, make them, you know, be held accountable. To your other question, to the other Jason, yeah, it is, you know, people can use fake numbers, they can, you know, there's all kinds of ways now to conceal your identity. Yeah. It is, again, also one of the other difficulties. But, you know, in my experience, criminals are not always that smart. And they will, I think, make every effort in the world to track this person down and to make them be held accountable.
And just to bring our viewers up to date on this latest information we've gotten from Tanya and from Brittany as well, too, about 2 hours ago now, it was about 11:30 to 12, there was a speaker, loud alarm, loudspeaker going off there, asking everyone inside NorthPark Mall, every restaurant, every store, to leave the building. Not just leave the building, but get away from the buildings as far away as possible. Dallas police have responded. Dallas police, of course, work a lot of off-duty hours there, a lot of manpower there at all times. Dallas police got there, made sure people were physically off of NorthPark property. We have now learned in the last few minutes here, this security incident Dallas police were telling us about was actually a bomb threat. Someone called into the Dallas Police Department Fusion Center, the nerve center for DPD, and said that there was a bomb somewhere inside there, inside the mall. That's why we have seen the Dallas Police Department show up like it has, the command van there on the bottom left of your screen, K-9s walking in the building here. What we're going to see now, though, is not a lot from the outside, but we're going to see from the inside how long it's going to take for the Dallas Police Department, for these K-9s to go store by store, walk all through this place if they don't know exactly where this threat was targeted, which they may or they may not. Nevertheless, as Tanya said, they do have to ensure the safety of the building before they let anyone back inside, employees, store owners, et cetera. So my guess is, based on what we've seen, our experience and talking to Tanya, that the mall will likely be closed for a minute this afternoon.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, even if they know specifically, if someone told them, I put it exactly right here in this store on the first floor, they're still going to sweep this entire mall complex methodically to make sure that they're not missing anything. And just a little while ago, I don't know if they were, just having one of the canines outside to, give it some fresh air or whatever, give it a little bit of a break, but it looked like it was also looking around outside, around the bushes and so forth. So you don't even just have the environment on the inside to deal with, which is expansive on its own, but also the perimeter around this mall.
And these people on the perimeter here are likely employees who are waiting to be allowed back inside when and if Dallas Police Department allows them back in. What's important to note here too, Jason, throughout this entire situation for 2 hours or so now, no one has been hurt, fortunately. When you ask someone to evacuate a massive facility like this, thousands of people inside, there is a potential for chaos, for people to get afraid, for people to start running.
In today's day and age,
Absolutely. We have not seen that, fortunately. It sounds like from talking to Catherine Cuellar and from hearing from other folks who have contacted the WFAA newsroom that people did leave in an orderly fashion. A lot of them were able to get in their vehicles and leave the property along with the police help from Dallas Police Department there. But that is certainly a relief that no one has been hurt in this bomb threat there. But still, there are dozens, if not hundreds of employees of the stores, of the anchor stores, the restaurants, and everywhere else wondering if they will be going back in. It would not surprise me at this point if you don't have, maybe some store owners who are making that call about whether they would remain open the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's going to